Hey everyone. So I wanted to get back to you just real quick regarding the questions that I posed online a few days ago. Um, and these were questions that are these are based on reflection questions from my upcoming book called My New Home. It's due out in a few days, so I'm very excited to get this into your hands. Basically, whenever I put out a book, this is it. Like My New Home, it's a Christian middle grade novel. It's based on the life and the story, like the life and times of Theodore Addison. It's a novel series, so there are many more books planned for this, like going forward. And every time I put out a book, it's going to have reflection questions so that kids can, reflect on what they're reading, and apply what they're learning into their daily lives. And so, with the questions that I asked a couple of days ago on Facebook, I got some responses, and I wanted to go over them, but also offer a few thoughts that I had about it as well. And this is an ongoing conversation, so it's not like I'm the end all be all. Um, and so the questions were, and these were for both kids and parents, right? So for the kids, the question was, what would be your advice to a kid in your class who's being picked on? And so the theme of this story is bullying. We're talking about like how do we resolve conflict, um, and in the story, Theodore, or Ted for short, he is struggling with the bullying problem at school. He's in this class, and five bullies are all put in the same class with him, and they're basically, they're zeroing in on him. They're targeting him. And so, in this case, like what do you say, like to a kid in your class who's being picked on? And so that's what brings me to the first response. I'm not going to reveal names because this is a public forum. But one response and this person gave two answers, so this is a two-parter. In the first response, they said, "Give the teacher an opportunity to correct it. If that doesn't work, correct it yourself. Stand up for yourself 11 out of 10 times. Fight back every time. Make sure they don't put their hands on anyone again." Um, so this is no big surprise here. The traditional, self-defense answer, right? Problem is that while, yeah, you should be able to defend yourself, you also have to be able to recognize sometimes when you're being baited into a fight. Um, Sometimes they're trying to draw you into a situation at which you're at a severe disadvantage. So even if you fight back, it's not going to resolve the bullying problem. Um, and so in this book, um, like the first instance that happens in the story, it's outside of school. There are no teachers around, so like walking away from school, um, that's where the bullies jump Ted. That's where he gets beaten up. They bait him again. In another instance where like they pull the fire alarm, they get everybody outside, and that's where they attack him. And so, as much as you want to be able to defend yourself and protect yourself, being baited is not going to serve your purpose well. But in the instance of bullying and where somebody's being picked on, more often than not, it's not just that somebody's needling them or attacking them or talking about them or even physically striking them. That's probably not where it's starting. Probably it's starting through where the victim is, you know socially isolated. And so the social outcast type, those are the kids that are in the most need, right? And so in this instance, I would say, one, to the child that's giving the advice to the victim, one, don't make their life worse. They really need a friend right now. Um, of course, that doesn't mean you want to go and jump into somebody else's fights, right? Yeah, you do have to turn to the teacher. So, like as the commenter said, yeah, get the teacher involved, and if they don't correct it yourself. Um, yeah, you need to be able to get the teacher involved, but if the teacher is not getting involved, or if they're just being like unhelpful, incompetent, unable to respond to the situation, then you have to keep going up the ladder. And in this case, that may mean going to the dean, it may mean going to the principal. um, it could even involve letting the police know about this, so that they know, like, that it's not just that it's not for the school to keep covering up. The law does not stop at the school doors. And so, like, if you're getting beaten up, like, that's assault, period. Um, the second comment, though, um, and this one, this one is a question that goes to the parents. It said, "Do you think getting involved in your child's bullying problem will make matters better or worse?" And so in the story, Ted is coming home. He's got bruises, he's got cuts, right? And his parents are worried and they're saying, like, okay, we need to go up to the school. We need to talk to somebody. And Ted tells them, no, you're going to make it worse. Why? Because he's thinking, okay, well, if I stand up for myself and I, fight to protect myself, then that will earn their respect. It will earn their, um, they'll know not to pick on me anymore. And in a way, in an instance that had, like, in some instances that does have merit, but in this case, it's already gotten too far and it's already 5-on-1. And there's no possible way you can, beat five people, not by yourself. Um, and so the comments that came from this, let's see. Growing up, from my personal experience as a boy to a man, I'd say you can and should get involved if you aren't impeding a lesson. I love that part. But your intervention shouldn't rob your child of conflict resolution skills and the ability to defend themselves. Remember, you can't be there every second of every day. If they don't learn, it'll happen again. Um, so this, so this is the B part of that first comment, and I really like this one. They're acknowledging that there is room where the parent needs to get involved, but they're also trying to say, like, okay, well, at the same time, I can't be there for you every minute of the day, so you've got to learn how to resolve conflicts. And so in the story, Ted does protest his parents coming to the school, thinking he can fight his battles himself, but they don't listen. They come up to the school secretly the next day, and yeah, they go and they find the dean, they find like they're trying to hold the school officials accountable. And it just so happens that that's where Ted gets into a second fight, where he thought he was going to prove himself or whatever. And so, yeah, and when the parents go up, this is kind of like that well, the story that happened on the far south side of Chicago, where there was this boy that was being bullied, and his mom went up to the school to protect him, and the kids that jumped her son jumped her too. This was outrageous. It really galvanized the community around the victims. They, got the boy transferred to another school, and I think they moved out of that neighborhood, which is good. Um, but yeah, in the case of the parents, like, yeah, it's a tough call, right? Where do I, when do I need to step in versus when do I, let the child deal with it? And in this instance, where it's 5-on-1, jumping, Ted every day, or every other day, or however often that may be, yeah, it's past time to get involved. Um, And so, yeah, I agree with this comment 100%, and I really appreciate it. We had another comment that said, I hope my involvement would make matters better. Um, and so this comment seemed to be, you know, it kind of seems like, like parents just, hoping against hope, like, okay, I'll try my best, right? Um, I don't want people to, feel helpless, like, because this comment does come across as a bit helpless. There are resources out there that help kids and help teachers, and it helps people deal with bullying, and the correct term for that is social aggression. And so I'm going to I happen to know somebody who works on this, like who started a business on this. Um, and the business is called Squabbles. It's created by this guy named Jeff Valet, or is it Jeff Vili? Uh, I guess I should ask him. Um, but yeah, I'll put the link down in the comments below. But yeah, if you're a parent and these are thorny issues and you're not quite sure how to navigate this, there are resources available. Reach out. You know, we don't need to fight these battles alone or helplessly. And so that's part of the reason why I wrote My New Home. Um, so yeah, the story is about, this Ted's the boy genius. He's inventing things, right? But it's the story of what made him who he is. And part of that is the bullying that he endured that drove him to, create these inventions. Since he's already good with his hands, he's already good with, engineering, so now that he's, making inventions, to, deter his assailants. Okay, what are the knock-on effects of that? And so that's what the book gets into. So does that, you know, does that solve his problems, or does it create more? Here's a hint: it does. It creates more. Um, but yeah, I'll keep posting some more questions to, that we can discuss going forward. But I just wanted to, take a moment to thank everybody for watching and for engaging with the questions. Um, God has wisdom for every circumstance that we face. And so that's part of why this book exists, to give kids and give parents the wisdom that God has for them so that they can lead, a prosperous, holy, God honoring, successful life. And so I'll leave it at that. If you all want to find the book, well, not just My New Home, but Fifth Grade Challenge as well, which is already out, you can go to addisonbooks.com, and there will be a link that will take you to the Amazon page where you can find the books. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and God be with you all.